Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Richard. A very Merry Christmas to you all. In this video, I'm going to sit down with my colleague behind the camera there, Gints, and talk about some of our favourite electric vehicles of the past year. We don't just get a press car for half an hour, make a quick video. We tend to spend a lot of time driving up and down the country using these cars, the chargers, and so we've got some fair opinions about what we like and don't like and some of the electric cars out there that we've driven this year. Before we get into that though, I've got a little treat for you. I was surprised, my November 2023 video made a lot of comments about my jumper. I like that jumper, it's really comfortable. It's from a company called Metal Rooster, I like it, I've got a few of their things. But I thought I'd put on a special jumper for you today, so Merry Christmas. Right, let's talk about some of the best electric cars of 2023. Right, Gints, so we've not driven everything out there, but we've driven many miles in a lot of electric cars.
Lots.
So I'm going to break this down into a couple of categories, and I think I've got some random little segments to give kind of awards to. So let's pretend you're going to compile your ideal EV and you're going to take certain components from certain cars. I'm going to say which, so I've got some weird categories for you.
Let's have a look.
And then I think we'll say, just to practically answer some of the questions we have, what car would you buy for up to 20, up to 30, up to 40,000 pounds type categories? And we'll just mention what off the top of our head. So if your car does not get a mention in this video, we've either not spent enough time with it to give a valid opinion, we've just not had one in here yet. Remember, we use car dealers, so it does have to be a car that's done around on the used car market. That's what we're going to focus on. But hopefully this does give you a bit of insight of some of the bits we've liked from certain cars. So in no particular order.
No particular order.
I'm going to reel off a couple of odd categories, okay?
There's been many different cars, so let's have a look.
Okay, so, you know I'm a bit fanatical about headlights.
Yeah, and
So Tesla are good at so many things, and we'll come on to what they're good at in a bit, but when it comes to headlight, not their strong point, what would you pick off for best headlight of the car that you've driven so far that's electric?
I think straight to my mind comes Mercedes EQE.
Yeah, that was special.
1 million pixels per headlight.
It's a 2 million pixel digital headlights.
Yeah.
It just does amazing things all
You
over.
can draw things on the floor and around.
Yeah.
It just looks awesome.
They were good. I will say also Audi e-tron,
Yep.
Porsche Taycan, possibly the same sort of headlights, the matrix
Similar,
systems
yeah.
and those, but my Taycan's great. My wife has the ID3 with those matrix headlights, the upgraded headlights, and they're matrix, but they also do proper cornering, the actual things move, like the old Citroens. So it might just be an ID3, ID4 and ID5 have the same if they've got the upgraded version. I think they're very good. And do you remember the Polestar? Not many a Polestar recently, but the Polestar was good.
They were good. Yeah, very bright.
Yes, they were.
Very bright.
And when we say Mercedes, remember the Mercedes EQV? That also had
van things.
the van had really good. The van had better headlights than the best Tesla out there.
Because also it sits a bit higher, so the beam goes nicely and covers
It was good,
the
and those
whole-
headlights were slightly different. They would sort of merge around and move the pattern
Like
around.
wavy.
With sequence of mirrors and stuff. I don't know how they work. So
They were good.
the best headlights of cars, and Tesla's not in any of those. We're still yet to see Tesla Matrix being active. So
And apparently talks that Cybertruck is going to be fully Matrix
Yes.
activated. Apparently.
It'd be good to see that.
I don't know.
I guess it's never been a motivational point because Matrix hasn't been legal in the States, but is now.
It
I
is now
think.
since
So
2022, I think. Yeah.
maybe that's going to come through. So something Tesla are good at, software. So what's got the nicest software in a car?
It's got to be Tesla.
Yeah, I think it has to be. Tesla software, including the route planning, is very good, but just to use, I think it's actually really intuitive.
Yeah, how the nav looks. It's just easy, simple, press, go, and you go. Like, it's
and
just,
I
no
think it's
sub-menus, nothing. It's just simple.
Really easy to get used to, I think. So, and I think that's a strange thing because a lot of people, especially Model 3 and Y, are a bit intimidated because there's not many buttons. It's all on the screen. But I think it is just the nicest to use, the best visuals, best resolutions and stuff like that. So it has to be Tesla. Other ones I thought were quite good. Polestar,
e-tron. I like any Audi, sort of.
Yeah, the most Audi. If you've driven one Audi, you probably know how to use any of them. So that's sort of quite easy to transition into, isn't it?
Quite nice.
And the Mercedes MBUX system,
That's good.
I actually thought was pretty good. A couple of things like the augmented nav were nice on there as well. Something you don't see in some other cars. Had a couple of nice features about it. So, but Tesla has to take Best Software Award. Yeah. Right, ride comfort, another one of mine. Like I'm getting older. I love a good ride comfort. So I'm going to pick the first one off, and that's why I drive a Taycan. The Taycan for me is a very unreal because it's just got one of the most compliant rides ever. You go down a motorway like a Mercedes S-Class, very nearly. It's actually very nearly that level.
Close.
Yeah,
it is close.
And yet you can then switch it it's a 3-stage damping, and you can drive around a track, and it's then got the best handling as well. So let's put it in best handling as well. So Taycan for ride comfort. What else would you pick off?
Could be e-tron, the big e-tron. Well, Audi e-tron GT, that's sort of the same as the Taycan, but a big e-tron, that's very comfortable as well.
E-tron 55, it's not the Q4, but the 55, of which I've also got one out there at the moment.
Ioniq 5, pretty comfortable.
Ioniq 5 is actually, Ioniq 5 is, you know, again, in a kind of family car segment, is a nice, comfortable car, very refined as well and quiet, isn't it? What the Ioniq 5 does sometimes with some bumpy country roads, it's actually a bit underdamped. If you get like a sequence of bumps, it starts kind of catching it out, but generally it's a comfortable car. Nice, And another curveball in there, MG5, MG4. Yeah. Great ride as well. So they all get a shout out. Well done, guys. Right, so shall we go? I'm just doing this to make sure the microphone's okay, not rubbing on my chin. I've got here best real world range.
Tesla Model S long range.
Model S long range. So the new one now, which is only left-hand drive, but even the previous, what we call the Ravens, late 2019, 2020 Model S long range.
Still going to take it.
We've done the videos. I mean, I even did Edinburgh to London non-stop. That's 420 miles, albeit trying, you know, a little bit, not going slower than trucks, but just kind of taking it easy on a nice day. But I did the John O'Groats Land's End. Even now, you know, they're over 300 miles really quite easily. So best.
Very good money as well now.
Yeah, now they're getting very good money, absolutely. Model 3 long range has to be in it, isn't it? Again, especially the 2021s, the refresh ones with a heat pump.
With a bigger battery.
You can do over 300 really quite easily on that. But the car we actually drove with the most real-world range was that EQS 450 Plus. And I thought, actually, it's going to fall behind and the Tesla Model S will beat it. So actually, that's the car we've driven that, at least on the day, unless you without trying, like I did with the Edinburgh-London trip, it was actually EQS 450.
Probably, yeah.
It was, because that prorated out to my memory, something like 370, 380 miles of range. Yeah. In real world.
Based on efficiency.
Bit of M25 traffic, slowed it down, which helps, but all good range. It's good to see there's a lot of cars out there now that are easily 250, which is, again, you don't need bigger range in this because your bladder has a limit. So really, by the time you get to 200-mile cars, that's in the real world at least 3 hours of driving, typically more like 4 hours of traffic. And then you stop for a lunch, or your dinner, or stuff like that.
30 minutes and you're off again.
Hey, look, Gints, your specialist subject. Let's bring this one in stereo.
Good one. It's gonna points gonna go down to Tesla, as in X and S long ranges. They're not branded.
A Tesla with the premium audio system.
They're not branded, but it's there. There's quite impressive audio systems in there, and very punchy, very clear. And after that, it's probably going to be Burmeister 3D. Like Audi's has and Mercedes has.
Taycan's. It's a really expensive upgrade, isn't it? But
it's $3,500.
If we're saying, look, what's the best audio system in a car? The Burmeister is certainly. It was unreal. I'm not like I like a moderate music in terms of level. I can appreciate a nice audio system, but when you actually just start cranking it up, it starts hurting your ears, and it's still really clear. Yeah. The Burmeister did that, and the Model S is just an extra nice and punchy, especially the upgrade ones. The left-hand drive ones are even better now. So
active noise cancellation.
It'd be interesting to see the new Model 3 Highland with the premium.
That's a new system apparently there as well.
Yeah, that'd be good to see, wouldn't it? I'm going to throw a really strange one in here, Gints, because I just want to say that the Genesis GV60 gets a little tick for me.
He's obsessed with that.
Right, because it had the best reversing lights. Some cars, I live in the dark now, I live out of town now, and it's pitch black, so when you're reversing, a good reversing light makes a difference. You can see where you're going. Good cameras as well. Yeah. But when we had a Genesis GV60 recently, it's got almost like headlights at the back. They're really good, and it marks out little white lines on the road behind you.
Because normally you just have like a one bulb either side of the car. Genesis has like two somewhere down in the bumper, and it makes like a nice.
As you get near a wall, you can actually see it project on the wall like a headlight. But on the back of the car, whereas you get like a Tesla or Mini car, Tesla Model S with the one single.
Yeah, same as my Model Y there. It's just a small thing in there. That's it.
Doesn't cut it, does it?
And it's very high as well.
Tesla's got really good reversing cameras. Let's do that. Reversing cameras, because this is where I'll defend Taycan for a lot of things, but in terms of cameras, it's not in there. This is way out of it.
It's like Nokia 3310 cameras.
Porsche, come on, seriously.
It's embarrassingly bad.
Right? Yeah, I'm even embarrassed about it. So.
For camera quality, Tesla.
Yeah.
But it only has, well, up now it's free accessible cameras. It used to be just one. You can only access one camera. Although it has like 7 cameras on the car,
Yeah.
you can access only 3 now. But new updates coming.
Yeah.
And apparently more access to cameras.
Well, I think as well, like every time I reverse Tesla, you go, oh, it's just a good quality camera. With
Yeah.
the, not
Even
too,
at night.
It's not distorted
Yeah.
too much. It's just got the nice angle of vision. A lot of cars have got pretty good cameras now, but let's just give an award to Tesla for that, because ultimately it has the best. The 360 stuff, I'm actually not that much of a fan of. It's always just a weird distorted image that I would never trust. But, you know.
The only thing where 360 works is on your e-tron, because it doesn't have proper mirrors.
Yeah, that's got some reasonable cameras, isn't it? Reasonable cameras. Yeah. Most practical car I've got here, Model X. We've done quite a lot of practicality testing, haven't we, with the boxes, with the IKEA boxes recently. The Model X just takes the most, isn't it?
Space-wise,
unless you go EQV.
X just swallows everything. Yeah, then you go to vans.
And that's a sort of different category, really, isn't it? Right, what else have I got here? I've got, I was going to say best seats, because you spend a lot of time in a seat, and there's certain cars that I like, although it's not down to the seats so much, like BMW i4, nice, refined, quiet car. The seats actually are good, so I'll divert a bit from the topic, but I can't quite get my left foot in the right place. The transmission tunnel's in the way, so therefore I'm sitting uncomfortably, and therefore...
Talking about that,
you know, it's ergonomics. Polestar's the same, banging your left knee.
Annoying.
And it's you and me with different heights, but the seats, because there's been a couple of spectacular ones. Ioniq 5, pretty comfortable, not the most supportive, but comfortable. And as a passenger, you can recline it all back and stuff like that.
It's going to be EQE again.
Mercedes EQE for you?
They're just so comfy. Yeah.
I was put another one in there for good seats, which is you pay your money for it. Again, it's a Porsche, an upgrade, but the Porsche with the 18-way seats and the massage.
Oh, that's great.
And it's a proper pushing massage, because there's some cars that sort of massage seats, but the kind of lumbar just goes in and out a little bit, and you're like, well, yeah, it's all right. And in fact, the EQE wasn't amazing for its massage function.
Massage function was pretty bad.
But the Tesla massage, the Taycan massage, it's actually a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It pushes quite hard. You're like, oh, I feel that.
It's actually a thing.
Yeah.
Right, okay, that's just a few odd little bits. I'm just going to mention as well, before we get into which cars we would choose for different money, and there's probably some different opinions here, but before that, a little curveball as well is kind of manufacturer for service and parts availability. Something that we experience different manufacturers for, which the general member of the public wouldn't. Now, Tesla used to have a bit of reputation for not getting parts very quickly and stuff like that, but they've been brilliant recently.
Because I think because they opened a massive warehouse, it's been a couple of years now, I think, in Netherlands.
Yeah.
Where they store, and I think they store and manufacture parts there, which is great in Europe. So
we just find out you book something on the app, it can go in next week, it can be done. Yep. We actually had a broken seat in the Model S recently. The frame had a break in it, and I thought that would take ages to get a seat, but actually it was done the next week. Yeah. And I like the way you just drop it off any time, just leave the car in the car park. You don't even leave your keys with Teslas. You book it on an app, you just leave the car there, take your own keys away, you get a message around when it's done, and you go and pick it up. Great, and the parts have been quick. Yeah. Which is the flip side for the worst experience I've had, which is Kia. Kia e-Niro needed it's warranty fix, but that was in June, and we just got the car back, and we're now in December.
That's bad. That is
which
bad.
is just there's no excuses for that. And we've also, 6 months to get a part. And you could drive it with default, but we couldn't sell it with default. Yeah. So therefore, I had to just own a car for 6 months that was just parked up.
Lost some money on it.
I lost money on it. That's Kia. Big manufacturer now. They're playing big boys with the EV game. Yeah. They got new cars coming out, but if they can't fix a known problem with a previous car, beware of that.
Annoying, because it's a good car.
Yeah, that's it. It's a fine car. It's just this part for 6 months. Even if it was a month or 6 weeks, I couldn't understand it. But like 6 months was ridiculous. So, so I don't like to sort of badmouth anyone, but that was just a first-hand experience. It just wasn't appropriate at all. We've also had issues getting Renaults into Renaults, BMWs into BMW. Just good bookings for little things, a BMW TPMS sensor, a Renault steering angle sensor.
It's just across the board feels like it's just something's going wrong.
It seems really painful. We're speaking to Matt Cleavely at Cleave EV yesterday. He was saying there's a shortage of just mechanics in the trade. So maybe people just aren't doing apprenticeships for mechanics and such like. So
that's what it is.
You still need mechanics even if it's EVs. Right, I think we agreed on a few things there. So let's talk about what we would buy for X amount of money. because a lot of EVs are expensive, but let's go through. If you were going to buy an EV for £10,000, the reality is it's not going to be a huge long-range car, but maybe it's a second car in a household doing school runs, or you know, you don't actually need to commute or drive that far every day. A lot of people seem to think to drive 500 miles a day. You're probably not going to pick one of these, but £10,000 electric car, even for you daily, you don't do massive mileage, just you know, driving to and from here. So what would you pick for under £10,000?
Sad Me is a good one.
Say it me. Yeah.
It's very efficient.
Especially if you can get the later, bigger battery thing. Yeah. Really efficient, actually quite a good range, just a funky little thing. And they're not that old, you know.
Yeah, they're fresh cars.
They're cool. Yeah, I can agree with that. Say it me. And there's VWE up and the Skoda Citigo versions. Yeah, so I'll give them a shout as well. I think I would be trying to find an Ioniq for that, the original Hyundai Ioniq. You do see them for under 10, about 10.
The spec is crazy on that.
Good spec, and you know, just good little things. Really efficient, good spec. Even the sort of autopilot, I don't know what they call it, but the autopilot thing, the one we had lane keeping, radar. It was great. It was great. See some BMW i3s for that money as well, which I quite like.
As well, yeah.
Zoe's,
i3's a nice kid.
Not bad little things to run around, are they?
Zoe's nice.
Okay, let's say the budget's a bit bigger, up to £20,000, so sort of £10,000 to £20,000 bracket.
Spot.
Again, it's going to depend on your needs, isn't it? So I would say, again, we're seeing, well, Audi Nero's under 20, and that's now fixed. Audi Nero, you know, a high-spec car, heated steering wheel and seats, and a reasonable family space, and a 64 kilowatt battery that does 300 miles if you want it to.
It's good.
For under 20 grand they are now. So
and spacious inside. Like it's
pretty good. Yeah,
nice.
And you've got a good spec to them. What about, you like the Mini?
I like how they drive.
Yeah.
They drive very nice. Range is questionable.
Yeah, I was getting 120 out of the Mini. But
compare, like if you compare e-Nero range and Mini, it's different.
This is it.
Game, but the way it drives, love it.
Yeah, so under £20,000 Mini electric. And you know, I always like that little E208 as well. So, and you get E20008s as well, a bit bigger.
Bigger ones,
for that money. So I think, and the other one I liked actually, and you're seeing them around a little bit more now, is the MG5. So an estate car, sort of sensible, affordable family car, very reliable and stuff like that. So up to 30,000, 20 to 30,000 pounds. What would you pick?
It's going to be Tesla.
Model 3?
Model 3, you can get.
You can choose standard range or long range now. Yeah. You can even get some of the refresh ones. It depends on the exact budget, but there's especially recently with the Tesla Model 3s, they've come down a bit because there's a new one on the way. So we're seeing even refreshes, even some refresh long range under 30, but typically LFP standard ranges, which are great. If you're in the upper 20s, you get some long ranges in the mid and upper 20s. Yeah. But if your budget's 20, you can actually just get a Model 3 standard range. We sold a couple recently, 21, 22 grand. Yep. Really clean Model 3 standard ranges.
Not crazy mileage as well.
No, one had 20,000 miles, one had 28, you know, like, and clean. With good examples, not tatty ones, really good ones. So I think they've got to be near. I was going to mention MGZS, you get the later ones with the big battery, they go to 300 miles. Again, you've got the Kona and e-Neros in that category.
Konas are good.
Yeah, the Konas are nice thing, again, super efficient, aren't they? Yeah. We always get mega efficiency out of one of those. VW ID4s, big spacious family car, they're under 30 now. There's 95 coming next week, under 30. You know, nice things, nice mileage. Good space in those, that's what I was thinking with those. And also, you do see the Polestars in that price category now.
Yeah, true. If you don't have legs, but
just check your left knee bangs against that console. But the Polestars are nice.
It's a good car.
It's a nice car, isn't it? And you get dual motor, two-wheel drive, big batteries, decent ranges. So I'd consider a Polestar in that category as well. And you get hatch, tow bar, stuff like that. You know. 30 to 40,000, what would you pick?
Model Y.
Yeah, they're under 40 now, aren't they? Yeah. So you get, I mean, standard range, big, long ranges. So we've had long ranges for, 39. We've seen about 38 sometimes now. I drive a Model Y long range from Edinburgh back to here on the south coast. One charging stop, 30 minutes, that's all it needs.
That's crazy.
You know, it's good, it's an all-round practical family car. e-tron 55s now. You know, 55s. The 55s, the bigger battery ones. You see the 50s in the 20s, but the 55s, big luxury car. I always say it's like the electric Range Rover Sport. It's got that.
They're lovely.
Lovely, super refined feel about them. Not the most efficient, but neither the Range Rover.
No, but you just feel good in them. You just sit down, relax, and just cruise.
Yeah, just great seats, nice build, good finish everywhere, just good stuff. Yeah, we like the e-tron 55s. We both agree on that. It was always that first one I had which is a while ago now, wasn't it?
We just sort of fell in love with it because
Yeah,
it was so good.
And we weren't expecting to. We were like, oh, let's just try another car. Oh, this is really good.
Yeah, really.
So actually, the e-tron 55s get our vote on that. Model 3 performances, good ones, and refresh ones in that money as well. And you're starting to get some Model S long ranges with a little bit more miles would be in that category. But I put in the 40 to 50,000 pounds the Model S, a low mileage, late, long range Raven with the steering wheel on the right hand side, the right hand side. And even the performances, we've had some Model S performances now, which were always over 50, and now they're mid, upper 40s.
You just have to think it's crazy. 825 horsepower on 2.5 seconds to 60 for 50k tops.
Yeah. Well, we had one for low 40s, like 42, 43. Like, just crazy. And 300-mile range, and good software.
And a ton of space.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about the good, we get good ones, and that's a good one, you know. So we've had some crackers. One had FSD, 45, crazy stuff. So I think 40 to 50, that would be my mark. You do also get Model Y performances under 50 now.
Yep.
And there's starting to be an inkling of a few Taycans under 50, which I think is unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go above 50, and I'm straight in there with Taycans.
Taycan's a good one. Back to EQ again, EQS.
EQE, EQS. EQS, if you like that kind of wafty luxury, then EQS. And there's some great deals out there on the used market from manufacturers as well, from Mercedes as well. It's a lot of car for money because they list at like 120 new, but you see them around with low mileage, 70, 80,000 pounds. You're like,
still a lot of money, but
we're talking big money, but then you're going, because when they were like new list 120, we were both like, it's nice, but I don't know if I'm quite motivated to that level. But for 70, 80, again, just the augmented nav and those superb headlights and some of the tech they have is another thing, isn't it? Over 50 also gets you the really good examples of the late Model X's, the Model X Ravens. True. So the sort of 20, 70 plates, low mileage, the last of the right-hand drives. So they're sort of typically between 50 and 60. A couple of performance ones over 60. Not as many around now. They're getting a bit thin on the ground because people are keeping them because they lost the right-hand drive.
One of my favourite cars.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's lovely, thanks.
Yeah, big things. I guess, again, if you're talking big money, I'd be possibly considering more like the Taycan cross turismos then as well. And maybe the Electra might take a fancy. I mean, I like the way that looks. I like the way it drives. It's a bit different. I like it.
It's beautiful.
It's good. I think
it looks crazy good, like with all those vents everywhere. You can put your hands through panels.
In person, it's an interesting car. I like it for that. Yeah, so I hope that's been useful. If your car wasn't mentioned there, maybe it's just not terrible, maybe we just haven't had it. Don't be offended. I would like to see your comments below about what you've got and what you like about it, so chip in your bit as well, for sure. What do you... Well, I've got next year in a minute, but what would you just say used EV of the year? If you could just recommend one used electric car for somebody with a fairly healthy budget at the end of the day, still talking a lot of money, but what's the best used EV?
Model 3 long range refresh.
Totally agree. Yeah.
It's just such a good thing all over it. Like you can't really say. I mean, of course there is bad points about it, but it's just so good. Yeah,
as we've seen, we're trying to be fair here. It doesn't have the best headlights. It doesn't have the best ride quality. No. It wasn't in those categories. But as we have said, 30,000 odd gets you the latest refresh long ranges with sensible mileage. They can do brilliantly good over 300-mile range. They're super efficient. But one of my main reasons for choosing it is they've been around a little while now, and the reliability is just superb. There's barely anything ever goes wrong on these cars. Maybe the very odd squeaky upper front suspension bush, which is a cheap...
And early cars had a moisture and backlight. That's it.
Yeah. Like, there's hardly anything. You've got to remember with Tesla Model 3, there's no kind of maintenance schedules, no servicing schedule as such. You've just got to look after your car, but it doesn't have that every year, 2 years.
That guy from, is it Canada? 369,000 miles.
That was it.
Original battery, original...
2019 Model 3 long range, isn't it?
Original battery, original motors, and original brakes.
Yeah, original brakes, still on like 60, 75% worn, Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so... take it from us, and one of our Model 3s is just about to tick onto 100,000 miles. So that's a video coming up. Stay subscribed and see that.
Yep.
And we're going to show you not just what the condition of it's like, how's the seat held up, what have we had to do with it over the course of 100,000 miles. Nothing, basically.
And we're sure it's a battery health check as well.
Yeah, and of course we're going to do a battery health check and see exactly how much usable capacity is still left in that car. So make sure you're subscribed. That video will probably come out in the new year. We might film it shortly, but that'll probably come out in the new year. We'll see how we go for time. But we're like 200 miles off of the 100,000 mile mark. And this is a car that we've done track days in as well. Yeah. It gets used up and down the country. We've done track days in. It's not an easy life.
Nope.
But it's done really well. So yeah, I think if you had to try and pick one, of course, it's not quite suitable for everyone, maybe for practicality, and that's why we've picked off a few other cars in our kind of cars that we like list. Nothing too official, quite casual. Yep. So we'll wrap up soon, but I was just going to sort of see what you might be looking forward to in 2024. There's an obvious one in there.
What, Cybertruck?
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Texas and drive a Cybertruck. Oh, if I have to. It'd be quite good to do that, actually.
Of course, Highland is going to be here soon.
Yeah.
And it will be nice to test finally why it's so good, because people love them.
Yeah, we haven't done a video yet on the Model 3 Highland in terms of driving it, because and if you get in a Model 3 Highland, I've got a couple of volunteers already, but do let us know if you're up for something, because maybe you want to try a standard range, a long range and such like, and with different wheels. But when they actually arrive properly as production right-hand drive cars, and people are getting them the customer versions rather than any pre-production press cars, stuff like that, it'd be good to then spend a bit of time with them and do a proper range test, get it alongside a previous Model 3 long range or standard range, and see exactly, and with our normal kind of our style tests, and try and do some side-by-side stuff and that. So we've had opportunities to spend a little bit of time, but it would just end up like a little hash together little thing. What am I looking forward to? What would I like to see with the Model 3 Highland? I'd love to see lights and door handles, hasn't got that. I'd like to see better ride quality, apparently it does have that. Yep. I'd like to see active matrix headlights. Don't know yet.
Big question mark.
Big question mark on that. If you know, let us know.
But Model 3 Highland Performance or Plaid or Ludicrous, whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah.
So there's going to be something amazing, because it's still not out.
Yeah.
And there's been rumours, pictures of new seats.
Yep.
New bumpers.
It's going to be interesting to hear about that for sure. Also be good to see, I don't know if I like it or not yet, but the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. I don't know if I agree with this kind of rare vein. I don't know if I agree with that. I do like the Taycan soundbox, but it's not trying to sound like an engine. It's not trying to do throttle blips. I think I like the idea of the kind of, I'd like to try it just for a novelty factor, but probably, I don't know if I like it. But I'm looking forward to maybe getting my hands on one day.
I think this will be fun. It's definitely going to be fun. There's no doubt about that.
On the track.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get a track. We're going to have to do our stuff.
Drift it.
So
I can hit the limiter.
We need a VTEC electric car. Yeah. That'd be good. And the other car, of course, I put an order in.
Oh.
Randomly one day.
Alaska.
Yeah, the Fiscal Alaska might make its way. An electric pickup truck. There is the Maxus, but the Fiscal Alaska I like the look of it. It looks cool. We do have practical use for a pickup truck. It is a useful thing. And that's allegedly due 2024, so that might be something.
Oh, that's 2025?
No, late 2024, apparently.
Oh, cool.
Little cut, camera stopped. Look, we were done anyway. Yeah, so I think all that's left to say really is a big thank you to all our customers that we've seen throughout the year. People have bringing cars to us that we've either bought or sold for them, and of course everyone who's bought cars from us, so massive thank you. Big thanks to everyone who's subscribed to our channel. It's a massive part of the business now, really, isn't it? And we'll admit, it's been a bit difficult to get some videos out recently, because we've got to make hay when the sun shines, and it's been busy, like November.
It was crazy.
It was crazy busy, like multiple cars in and out every day. So we had to be sort of hands to the pump. But let's get into the new year, and we'll try and get some more videos out, try and get hold of some interesting stuff, and get some great content out there, because there's some interesting things on the way.
Some new cars coming, so...
This is it. Yeah, this is it. It's about trying to balance up everything. But, look, massive thank you to everyone, all the subscribers, all nice comments we get, people watching our channel, and all our customers. And a big thanks to Gints for producing the videos, editing the videos.
Thanks for watching.
all the other staff here at RSEV. I hope you have a brilliant Christmas and best wishes for the new year. We will see you just before, just after the new year with our end of December, end of the year, end of a year of solar roundup, and exactly how the sales statistics and market demand is for EVs during 2023. And then we'll just kick into 2024.
Yeah.
Hit the deck with the feet running.
The whole year just gone like nothing.
That's it.
It's just
really quick,
cool.
wasn't it? It was a busy one. So we sold more cars this year than the previous year. It's been actually busy, but in much more fluctuations. But let's talk about that a bit more in the next video. So stay subscribed. Put your comments down below. We always try and read through them. Merry Christmas.